I was born and raised in Detroit. I love my city. I adore all the growth and the architecture and all the amazing things we've accomplished, whether it be Motown or the automotive industry. And as I've traveled the world and spent time and lived in different places, I find that there's no place like home. Detroit will always be home to me, and it'll always be a place that I love. I love this staple, which is amazing. And it really inspired me to do my podcast, which is called Detroit Girl Transformed. I decided to do this podcast on Resilient Radio, which is a Black-owned station based in Detroit. And it really highlights the transformation of my city while I, as an individual, was transforming. And what kind of people come out of Detroit, which are really people with hustle and grit, who are determined and also exhibit perseverance. The podcast will really focus on different people that have different phases of transformation, whether it be their finances, their well-being, their travel experiences, how they transform their relationships, how they transform their spiritual beliefs. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, and that's what's best for our city, and that's what's best for our legacy and our future and our family.
I'm 24 years old, so I don't really have like breast milk on me anymore. I'm like almost grown. Things with me and Bella, it's cruising like, but Alendra did get my attention at the coupling night. She came up to me with like energy that, you know, maybe Bella didn't bring, but that kiss was intense. I want to get to know her and see what you know. I'm trying to make it 51.
Nick, get the fuck away from me, buddy. Nick, what the fuck? You are a great swaller.
Which Islander do you think, other than your partner, is the best kisser? Alendra. I'm sorry. What you don't see can't hurt you. And so shout out Alendra for covering my eyes.
Oh, and then my other favorite moment is Nick announcing Alandria as the best kisser besides his couple. He kissed her in the blindfold game, and here's the thing: she still doesn't, to my knowledge, still doesn't know.
Let me see what it is.
Quick, hurry up, get in!
What the fuck?
Bro, today's, it just keeps getting crazier and crazier. Thanks, Nick.
Cheers to whatever this is. Tell you smile. And I was like, oh my god, my queen. I've been missing you this whole time.
We've been missing you, Steph.
I've been wanting to get to know you. I feel like we haven't had the opportunity to like get these conversations.
In the beginning, how we kept kissing and we never put each other in chat. I'm like, keep cheating. Like, you know, there is something there.
I feel like it was like this fun, like secret admirer kind of thing. Like I kind of always wanted to let you know I was into you, but never like have this conversation all the time. how do you feel about me? Because I feel like I've told you I'm attracted to you.
No, you haven't.
That's the reason I kept picking you in the challenges. 'Cause
Really?
I think, like, the first kiss we had, I thought was, like, super hot.
No way.
Yeah.
Them.
But how do you feel with us doing the game?
We always have chemistry during every challenge. That is good.
I'm, like, flushed right now.
Oh shit.
A little bit.
Will I make you nervous or something?
A little bit. But I
No
like
way.
it.
Make you
I don't know. I kind of like it.
What?
Yeah. She's one of the most attractive women I've ever seen in my lifetime.
We're gonna navigate this thing, regardless of what we got going on. I get, you know what I'm saying? My whole lip combo is gone. Leave my lip combo.
Is mine good?
No, you got chocolate on your face.
I love that.
So cold. We got fear in the back of your mind. Okay, in the back of mine, but we gotta embark on this new journey.
I'm gonna be honest. I still get nervous, like, talking to you.
What? Maybe it was Nick this whole time, and we just been still oblivious to it. So now I'm fixated on the situation at hand, and I'm going to give him my all this time, 100%. I don't see why not.
Nicolandria Hive, stand up.
Welcome to another episode of Detroit Girl Transform. I am your host and your favorite Detroit girlie, who is also your transformation coach, by the way, Tony Carter. So I am excited to have our guests, Leah, Leah, and Devin here tonight, our fellow Islander lovers. Hey, welcome. We ready to spill that tea?
Hey, yeah.
This season of Love Island has been nothing more than unpredictable and, quite frankly, crazy. So I had to do an episode on the podcast and really just have a transformative discussion about the experience of Love Island. The variations. I've only seen a couple of seasons, but even just the variation from this season, and also just some really controversial topics that came up on this episode. So before we get started, just love to hear how long you've been watching Love Island. Whoever wants to start first, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
I haven't never watched Love Island before this season, and I was
Okay.
kept trying to not watch it, but then like I kept seeing the clips, so I was like, let me see what this about.
Let me see what everybody talking about.
Yeah, let me get my opinion.
Yes.
I would consider myself a Love Island OG. I started off watching Love Island UK. So like I'm talking probably back.
You the real deal.
Yes, I'm talking probably back. I think the first season that I really got into was back in 2019. I think that was the UK season 5, I want to say. And I this is actually my first USA season that I watched. I tried to get into last season, and for whatever reason I couldn't get into it. But I started watching it again recently, just because, I love Serena, I love Cordell, Janae, Leah, all of them. So, but I have been sticking beside Love Island since way back.
I love it. And it's not a DGT season if we don't have a little girl chat. So tonight we're going to deep dive into the summer series that had us clutching our pearls, questioning our thoughts, and yes, screaming at the screen, because I definitely screamed at the screen during Love Island season 7. So spoiler alert, if you're not caught up, baby, now is the time, because we're going to go into all the details and the breakdown and all the juicy tidbits. So wherever my lovers at, let's go. So let's get started. So to all my Love Island stands and my girls on the call, let's just really dig into this season. I have been living for this episode, because first of all, I need somebody to talk to. That's for what? Like, because like a lot of my friends like, I didn't watch it. I'm like, oh no, everybody's watching it. So I'm excited about that. So let's kick it off with a bit of love, right? Because it's Love Island. Who were your top 3 Islanders that you loved? And if you had a chance, who would have caught your eye for a real life connection?
So I say for sure, in no particular order, Shelly and Alandria, I'm holding it down for them. Those are my girls. Holding it down. I like my third spot is hard because I love Ace and I love Nick. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I'm gonna just say I'm gonna hold it down for Shelly and Alandria. I love them. And as far as like a guy, you know, all the guys on the season were very attractive, but I got me a man, and he's the real bombshell. So
Okay. So you gonna keep it cute on that? I get it. Keep the home happy.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Shelly, Orlandria, and I'm gonna say Ace too. Even though
Those your top
people,
three?
yeah, those are my top 3. Even though people didn't like, they thought he was like bullying and stuff like that, but I like that he was himself
right.
and the way he came out of the villa when he got home. And for the one that I find that I can find a connection with in real life, I don't know. I feel like that's hard
Yeah.
because
But
I
who
feel
did
like
you find attractive? Did you find anybody attractive?
I would say Ace, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Taylor, he looks very good looking outside of the villa, but like on the show, it
Oh, I need to see the
no.
pictures outside the villa, because baby.
No, outside of the villa he does.
He
Okay.
he was fraternity. Like there was like a video of him going viral when he was like strolling, and he didn't.
He
That
don't
looked
look like that.
yeah, he looked completely
Yeah.
different.
Oh, I heard he was an alpha. I think he's an alpha.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
well, I'm gonna need to catch that video.
Well, wait. Who did you find attractive?
So my favorites. First of all, I loved Amaya Papaya. I loved Amaya. I thought she was a girl's girl. She loved love. She might have, maybe she was a little intense for some people in the beginning, but I was like, it's a part of her culture, and I just think we got to meet people where they are. I did like Shelly and Alondria, but I also liked Iris. I thought Iris was very level-headed and very mature. So I really liked all of them. And as far as guys, I found attractive. I thought Nick was attractive. I definitely loved Chris. Like Chris was like my ideal. I was like, what's happening here, and why didn't we bring him in earlier? Because I think he should have been originally casted. Honestly, I think he would have had better traction even with Shelly. I still believe that, but I found it interesting that Ace was like one of the youngest ones, and everybody was listening to him. He was like running the whole thing. I'm like, he's 22, you 27. Why you listening to him? I just told him be quiet. So yeah, so with that being said, with the lovers that we loved, was there anybody that was on there that kind of annoyed you?
I did not like Huda.
Oh, but yeah.
I did not like Huda.
Let me tell you something. I quit that show 3 times because they kept voting Huda back on.
Yeah.
And you know what I said when she at the end, when she did not have a true connection, and after the show ended, she went on different podcasts bashing them. I said no better for
That was crazy.
because
Yes.
she did everything that we thought she was gonna do.
Right.
And she was definitely entitled. Like, why would we keep keeping somebody that's so toxic? She clearly needs to go to a therapist. There's like she called somebody, she kept calling Jeremiah a B. And then this whole thing about her getting mad because somebody wouldn't sleep with her. Like, listen, girl,
No, that
that's
is crazy.
coercion is crazy. Like I just can't get behind that. And like for me, like everybody kept saying, "Oh, redemption arc," and I'm like,
she never had it with me.
Mm-mm.
No, I think they pulled her to the side and talked to her, and she put on.
They
But
did.
I think, yeah, I think that's exactly who she is. Like if somebody if Ace did something for Shelly, she'd be like, Jeremiah, you need to do more. You didn't. My pancakes were
She was
cold.
envious.
She said that about Chris too.
Yeah.
You put a flower on her plate and you gave her 2 pancakes and gave me
No, because
one.
why was she rapping? She talking about some. You gave her 2 waffles. You gave me 1. You gave her a flower. You gave me none. I'm like, how many times did she repeat that in her head before she said it out loud? Like,
and why hasn't she seen her daughter in 6 months? I'm over her.
yeah, she just actually it popped up on my For You page on TikTok. She seen her. Apparently, her daughter was on vacation or whatever. But I'm gonna just leave that situation alone. I ain't got no kids, so I can't too much say what I would have did. But I truly believe that.
I mean, I feel like the vacations could have been while she was at the villa.
Yeah, a vacation would have
stopped. Home. She should have been home. But I'm not here to judge parents. I'm here to listen and not judge. Yeah. But I just was like, she needs, like, No accountability. Just like I knew she was. She was not going to reflect. She's like, oh, America must have seen you were playing me. No, America wanted Jeremiah out. And then that mean girl behavior she did to Iris, like he's not even attracted to you. He doesn't like you. I was like, what is going on?
And she did the same thing with Amaya.
I don't
But
know
now
why
that's but now that's the duo. Not my duo.
They all want to team up with Amaya because everybody likes Amaya, but I don't think Hood is genuine. So, when she came out and gave him her butt to kiss, her ass to kiss, I said, no better for you because y'all knew that's what she was going to do. So she came out just talking about everybody, even talking about intimacy with her and Chris. I was like, that is not the vibe. Like, talking about what y'all had going on intimate. But again, we dealing with 20-year-olds, so I get that. But like, they should have pulled her out and sent her to therapy.
How old is she?
She's like 25.
25.
Okay.
Yeah, she's either the 24 or 25. So
yeah. So yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I ain't gonna follow her. I ain't gonna never be a fan. I think that she was never held accountable for her behavior, and she, as a result, she don't care and have no loyalty. Now she's the victim.
She should have been out of there.
Was being bullied. She was being bullied. She didn't have a real connection. Like, it's never like her reflecting, saying, "There's one thing I could have done differently."
Right. She always played victim. I'm gonna stand with Nick, because every time that she was on the chopping block, he voted for her to go home.
That's why Nick was one of my favorites, because Nick
I'm gonna stand with Nick
down 10 toes. He was like, kept voting her off. He was like, I want to be done with Crazy Island. I'm ready for Love Island.
Right.
And that's why he one of my favorites. Now, I thought, we'll get into him later, but that's why he's one of my favorites, because he stood out there voting Hooder off like it wasn't nothing every week.
He got to be honest. He can't lie. Nick can't lie.
No, I could tell. He ain't even being strategic. He was like, Taylor, even if it means you got to go, she got to go too.
Yep.
So let's talk about the conversation that came up that this was the season was more of a friend island than a love island because people felt they were voting off real connections. What's your take on that?
It was really odd to see. Like, for example, Hannah and Pepe. I know that, like, when it came down to the elimination, some of the people that were standing up there, like, I didn't want to see them go. But the reason behind voting Hannah and Pepe, I think, was, like, kind of crazy. And then I remember what was said at one point in the season. Oh man, I lost my thought. But I do think like it was really weird. Like nobody voted on a genuine connection. It almost seemed like if you had a connection, they just sent you home.
Yeah, it was almost like if you was afraid to have a connection, because if you had a connection on this season, they were sending you home. I didn't get Hannah and Pepe. I didn't even get Jeremiah. Like I felt like Jeremiah did everything they wanted him to do, and they still voted him off. And he was building something with Adrian. It just was so premature, and their reasons were contradicting. Like one was the person didn't have enough time to make a connection. Then the next time it was where they, Hannah kept making connections. I'm like, all y'all kept doing it too. I just feel like they formed an alliance that was extremely unproductive and unhealthy, and I just didn't like it. Debbie, what you think?
I definitely think that's true. I was saying that I feel like a lot of people, and then when America got involved, it just made people start picking off of people that they like popularity. And I know a lot of people didn't like the way Taylor handled the situation with Olandria with Clark, but I do think they had a genuine connection, and I feel like it was just the lines were getting very blurry.
Yeah,
what the plot was like. What was the plot like? Who the people liked the most, or like who had the best connection?
No, I think this is what I think. I think America might have a little bit of retaliatory behavior because as soon as they got control, they was like, Taylor and Clark, you out. They didn't forget.
Yeah.
They didn't forget Ace and Shelley. They didn't forget how many. So they said it's only fair that Ace and Shelley leave with a true connection, since with all the people they voted off with true connections. Yeah. And I just wish they would look back and reflect and see that people was very frustrated when they had control. They wasn't doing the right thing.
Yeah,
I've never seen on Love Island so many people voted off with connections. And Hannah's I can't wait to that reunion because Hannah gonna light them up.
Yeah, I think like voting Taylor and Clark. Now I'm not gonna lie, I was voting every time. And you know, they would be like, who most of the time, like on the voter side, it said who is your favorite couple.
Exactly. It doesn't give
And
you
so like
choices.
So like technically, if people, you know, voted for their favorite couple and people's favorite couple wasn't Taylor and Clark, then of course they got the boot. But I do think like I like Clark. I do think like her first like entrance or like her first interactions in the villa were kind of shaky, and I don't know if that's just like production and editing and stuff like that, because I do think she was being a little shady. But I mean, overall, I like Clark, and you know, if he feels happy with her, then hey, who am I to judge? I think he handled it wrong, but I mean, I'm like 50-50 when it comes to sending him home, not sending him home, because if you want to look at how we voted, it wasn't like they didn't ask who's your least favorite couple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do think like
I'm just confused on how Huda and Chris was still.
They should have never made
and a couple over top of all of them other
I'm
people.
like, they should have brought Tina and Iris back before they made them to the
Like,
bottom.
yeah.
I was so confused. Like, people was falling in love for 3 days. I just was like, ain't no loyalty on this season. But as far as
even though we love Amaya too, hold on.
I know
Amaya and Brian didn't even
like
close off until the
declaration or like right before like the final date.
Like, I don't know.
Chris should not have made it to the end. That's for sure.
That's crazy. Yeah.
The grudge against Shelly and Ace was too hard. Like, it was just, people wouldn't let it go. But to your
should have been
point,
at the top for sure.
Was voting on their favorite couple. So it just got blurred. And Shelly and Ace just like, people was just like, y'all knew each other beforehand. Y'all could have dated. Why was y'all on Love Island? You was liking her post. So I just don't, why y'all wait to come on the show to do that? So I want to talk a little bit about Clark real quick, because
Clark it.
I'm gonna be Clark it. I don't trust her as far as her. I do think she's a nice person. I do think that I heard that she was going to get the girls to pray. I think she's sweet, but do I think she's gonna be with Taylor? No, I think she's going to do that 1-year tour and get all the endorsements she can get, and then go back in her DMs and respond to all them NBA and NFL players.
Some people in her messages.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. She's gonna ride this ride until she get as many endorsements or whatever she's trying to get, which ain't gonna be much. But
the girls are they are living for her makeup tutorial, so I might take her somewhere.
I think she liked Taylor, but I definitely think Taylor liked
I don't think they're gonna
her more. Yeah. Like, I think he liked her way more than she liked him.
And he was infatuated with her. Like, he liked how she looked. This was like a physical attraction. Like, what did they even talk about? Every time I talk to somebody about this, nobody can tell me what they really talked about.
She made him feel like a kid.
Exactly. All he did was look at her.
How old are you?
So, yeah. So, I just, So, I think I want to talk a little bit about, I think we spent a little bit of time on the walking red flag Huda, but what were some emotional red flags that you saw on the show? Because I felt like this show was concerning to me. Like, I was like, we need a little bit more, maybe we need to send a therapist into the villa to talk to people about
they say they have therapists.
Well, they need to be on camera, because
that's during the screening process. They do like a psych eval.
They need to fire whoever interviewed Huda.
No, on the other, they said that they do it throughout.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. They said they were telling them, like, this season, like, this season has got really big, y'all. Like, when y'all leave, make sure y'all don't, like, try not to get on it as fast as possible, because it might be overwhelming. But they said, like, throughout, they kept telling them that. But I guess they didn't realize until they got out how big it was.
Yeah.
They said that. It was like they didn't realize how. Because people watch this season more than any other.
Really,
season.
And we didn't
talk about it more.
We didn't even. Yeah, it was a love hate, because I like the last season way better. But I think it's one of those things that's so bad it's good. Like, you just can't. I wanted it to recover. Mm-hmm. I wanted some true connections to happen.
I'll say with this season, like, compared to all the seasons I've watched, we definitely lost the plot. I think that this season was good as far as like entertainment goes. But like what the show is actually supposed to be and what it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
We're losing recipes. Like, we're off track. So, I mean, it was good TV. Like, I was ready. I was like, ooh, let me get my food. Let me give me something to drink. Let me watch. Let me tune in. You know, on Wednesdays when there was no episode, I was sick. When they had After Sun on Saturdays, I was sick. But like the overall, like what most viewers that like aren't tuning in for the first time, like that have already been watching what they were looking for, I definitely think like we lacked a lot of that this season, unfortunately.
I totally agree.
It felt like Bravo TV. That's what it felt like.
But it also shows you how much people like drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't. I know. People don't. I was like, why
they want to discuss and do dialogue.
Like, let's have healthy boundaries. Like, and the fact that Huda got 3 million fans, that just show you how many toxic people in the world. She got
some of her followers are bots. They're fake.
Who bought them?
Like people followers and stuff. They can like you can buy followers for like
other people.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, you giving us some real tea right now.
About this,
her TikTok, her TikTok had got banned because they seen that she had a lot of like fake followers.
Ooh.
And of course, she was in the villa, so it wasn't like she bought them. I'm not gonna blame her for that, but like I think her fans are definitely. Yeah, I think her fans are definitely a lot of like underage, minor, brain not developed.
They have to be like to side with her. Like they can't be.
They're definitely.
They gotta be like 15.
They gotta be.
It's a bunch of 16-year-olds that love that toxic rush. Yeah.
And them eyelashes was sending me. I was like, girl.
Her outer corners. They like the front part was
putting
cute.
Them on like that every day? What we doing?
But the outer corners, like it was thick straight up, and I'm like, why they look like that?
I mean, it was worse when she was crying. I'm like, maybe do something softer. Okay, so let's talk about the jaw-dropping moment when our girl, the Meg Thee Stallion, entered the villa. What energy did y'all feel she brought?
The energy that they was bringing already to the show.
I know. I was like, it ain't much more twerking we could do, but come on, Meg. Come on, Meg.
No, I love Meg, and I loved Olandria, and hold on. Olandria, it was one. Who else did? Oh, it was Huda. I would give her props for that.
Oh yeah,
she was dancing.
Yeah, no, Huda brought that. Like that.
No, I'll give her props.
Them skills. Yeah, she brought the skills.
Meg, she definitely brought like the fire to the villa. And I think like those little moments were really nice because there were like a few episodes in a row where it was just like drama, and it felt draining to watch.
It was draining.
So like there were parts like when Meg came in and it like uplifted everything and everybody was just having fun and laughing. Alandria showed out. Shelly came and gave Megan a dance. Nick was twerking. Taylor was twerking.
I love that Megan was a fan of the show.
Yeah, and Huda was showing out. You know, I ain't gonna give her
showing out.
I'll give her a 9. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, but I totally agree. It was episodes that was draining, and then it was like an upbeat. Like we needed that lift, you know, because I was like, this is getting too toxic. I don't know if I can do it. Like I should read a book and really more enhance my intellect.
Like, am I watching Baddies or am I watching Love Island?
I know. I was just like, what is going on? Mm-hmm. So speaking of that, I just want to touch on a little bit. Was it me or was the intimacy at a little bit of a higher rate than I've ever seen? Like, why the challenges were extra, like intimate, the kissing, the stuff under the sheets. We don't know what they was really doing, but like it seemed like it was a lot this season.
I'm gonna say, like I said, as an OG Love Island viewer, this is nothing new. Them challenges, nothing new. Them people freaking under the sheets, nothing new. It's always been a thing. I do think like the challenges are like kind of crazy. Like I don't want to watch you spit milk in somebody else's mouth.
Yeah,
like,
that I'd have been disqualified.
Like
I couldn't even watch that, y'all. I had to fast forward it because I was getting sick. I was like, oh my god, like the germaphobe in me couldn't handle it.
Yeah, and usually like the hideaway during the season is used a lot more to give like the couples that more private setting, but they didn't really use the hideaway until like the last few episodes. So you know, like people were just out in the open doing what they want to do. And I just feel like, I don't know, like it's a bit crazy. Like Iverson, I think TJ, like they went to Soul Ties, I think. And you know, they went away from everybody. And you know, I feel like that's better than just, you know.
Yeah, in a room full of people. But
In the
Iris,
same room
like,
is crazy.
yeah, but
It's
it's
on
like
TV,
it's
like
the
I just
recoupling and a coupling and you being that intimate with a person. I'm like, that's wild to me. But
that's why I commend Ace and Shelly. Cause even when they got in the hideaway, like they still kept things very respectful. I mean, I'm one of those people like your business is your business. I'm not gonna judge. You know, that don't got nothing to do with me. But like personally, like having
On
fun with the
national TV.
yeah, on TV and surrounded by like 10 other people, like I
that's a
do think
lot.
that there was more people being intimate on this season, but it's nothing new. It's nothing new. They've been doing that. At
And
least in the UK seasons.
maybe they edited it in a way to make it seem like it was excessive because I could see that happening because I don't
Yeah.
remember them zeroing in on it like this.
I don't know. I never watched any other season, so I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
well, I'm gonna tell you, last season wasn't like that. Like, they was doing it, they wasn't zeroing in on it. To your point, but yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the host of Love Island because I'm an Ariana stan. Like Ariana's my Aries sister. So were you rocking with her before the Village? So are you familiar with her pre Love Island? And then also, do you think she holds the space for the drama and the depth of the show? Like, what's your opinion of Ariana? And I won't be offended because I'm a stan.
You said, oh, you can go ahead.
Debbie, you want to go?
No, you can go because she said the view before the other.
So I knew of Ariana Madix, but like I didn't watch like the show that she was on or anything. I knew her more from like hosting. I actually really liked her. I thought she was fun. She was cool. I love like the outfits that she wears when she comes in and does like the fire pit moments. However, she lost some points with me when during the heart rate challenge, the whole Huda, Ace, and Shelly thing happened. And on After Sun, they asked her like, what did she think? And she was like, oh, you know, I watch what you guys watching. It's like she insinuated that Shelly was jealous of Huda, and I really just do not like that. Because girl, get serious. Like I feel like anybody that's sane that watched that knows like that Huda went too far. All the Islanders' reactions were all the same. They all said that she did too much. So for you to get on After Sun and be like, oh, well, you know, if I had a body like that and I could dance like that, you know, I would be doing the same thing. And, you know, if I didn't have a body like that, I would be, you know, jealous. Like insinuating that Shelly was jealous, I don't like that. And I feel like that fueled the hate train that came from it. And so, I mean, when she read her best friend about sleeping with her husband, you know, I was like, okay, girl, but I don't know. That was one moment that I just don't really agree with when it comes to her. I don't keep up with her enough to really like say overall. I mean, she's cool. Like I like her as a host, but I do think that was definitely a choice, and it wasn't the right choice. So,
all right, what you think, Devin?
I agree.
Yeah, I'm a Ariana stan, but I think she should have stepped that one out. I watched her on the last show, but I liked how she really became famous because her boyfriend cheated on her in the worst way, right? But she got it, you know, she was on Chicago Broadway. She can sing. I felt like she was really telling fans to not bully the Islanders a lot, and a lot of people wouldn't have gotten involved in that. And I appreciated her doing that. But I think, you know, like anybody else, she might have misstepped on this one situation.
Do you think that she was telling Islanders to not bully people when it involved Huda or when it involved Shelly and Orlandria too?
I have to go back and think about that because I've been challenged on that. Because we're going to talk about the double standard. But yeah, I have to go back because I felt like she was saying it about everybody. But the more that people come at me about this, I really have to think this through because I don't want to think my girl not paying attention and being a little tone deaf, but if she is, we got to call her to the carpet. Or not.
I think she was being tone deaf. Like when they first said that about the show, I thought that was good. And initially, I did think that it was like they were speaking, you know, like overall. But as time went on, and like she said the things about After Sun, and like we seen constantly how people were being treated. I mean, we had actual brands speaking out and, you know, harassing these women online these black women online, and they can't do anything to defend themselves. And nobody, no producers, Ariana, nobody said, "Hey guys, like, let's remember." No, she didn't reiterate that message. And I'm like, if she, it's okay if she didn't think about it to like say it, then okay, that's one thing. But it's like, I just feel like with this kind of show, with this much diversity, that's things that you have to think
Yeah, you
about.
just have to be aware. And I think it's a good learning for her. I hope that I might write her, but because I think she'd be open to it. I really do. I think she'd be open to it. But I think you have to defend everybody. You got to be careful when it comes across.
It got to be fair.
One person or one demographic, because that's not that's not what we want to be about.
Yeah.
So that's really I appreciate that perspective, because I didn't think about it, but I have been challenged on that before. So I'm glad y'all brought that up. So I love that we being raw and honest with this energy about Love Island. Let's take a quick breather so we can come back and finish up and sip all the tea, and head over to our commercial break. So if you would like to be a sponsor or advertise on DGT, Detroit Girl Transform, and be a part of this transformation journey, please contact me at DGT313podcast@gmail.com. Again, that's DGT313podcast@gmail.com. So we're going to go to a quick commercial break with one of our sponsors, Potty Products, and we'll come back and continue to debrief on this juicy, juicy season of Love Island Season 7. Welcome back to season 2 of not Love Island. Look, now I'm already on the show. Welcome back to season 2 of Detroit Girl Transform. I am your host and your transformation coach, Tony Carter, and I have 2 of my fellow island girlies who are on here, and we're dishing all the tea, but also having some really good dialogue about things that we really wanted to talk about as we address some of these global reality shows. So thank you both for being on this show with me today to chat and have a little bit of tea, right? A little girl time. Girl chat is always my favorite mid-season episode. All right, so really quick, I think we talked about this early on, but let's talk about Taylor and Clark. Like, I think we all agree that we've seen a bit of a connection, but what was it that we felt was there a breakdown in communication? Was there any chaos? Like, how do we feel about how the couple came about?
I feel like how they came about. I feel like it was on messy grounds, because he told Olandria that he was still interested in exploring them both, even though he probably already had like made up in his mind that he really
never explored Olandria after that day.
And did he?
Yeah. I feel like he could have just been honest and just let her know the truth.
I'm closed off.
Yeah. Right. I'm feeling her. You should explore somebody else and take it on it. I don't know how, like, on the show it seemed like she was like desperate and stuff, but based on others, they said that a lot of the stuff on the show wasn't shown. So she was saying like he was a very sweet guy. He would cook her stuff. He knew everybody's tea orders. Like, it's other stuff that they didn't show. So maybe that's why she was reacting the way she did. She said she would have never like stayed or kept pursuing Taylor if she knew he wasn't physically attracted to her. So that's a little context.
Well, we all knew it because we could see it. Like every episode, they was explaining why they wasn't having no chemistry. And when you got I don't like people or relationships or anything that come with instructions. And I felt like their relationship came with instructions, and I was like, it's just not there. If the spark is not there,
it was. It looked forced.
It was. I mean, every time it was Ace like, go get your girl, which really translated to me, go do what you gotta do to stay in this villa. That's what I felt was happening.
I think for me, like, watching them interact, it was a little like, okay, like, where's the disconnect? But I don't think for me that I was so much of necessarily that he didn't like her until Clark came. Because once I started seeing the effort he would put in with her, I'm like, okay, so you just really didn't like Alandria, or you like, especially now that they're out the villa and they've had interviews, and you know everybody's reaction to when he recoupled with Clark, and Alandria saying that he did all this stuff for her and we didn't see it. It's just like, okay, so that does feel like, you know, you were just trying to stay in so you could find somebody else. And like, yeah, this is Love Island, you're gonna want to explore, but there's no need to lead somebody else on. There's plenty of bombshells that are coming in. Because I remember, like at the beginning of the show, it was almost like there was just a bunch of male bombshells. I mean, not male, female bombshells, and there was
Yeah, I
no.
think it was off balanced. I think it
Yeah,
was
so
off
I'm
balanced.
like, you didn't have to lead like Olandria on like whatsoever. If you felt like you didn't have that connection, like there's so many times where people will just stay friends and stay cordial, and then eventually like their time will come. So I think the way like it was handled was weird. Like I said, while watching them initially, I didn't really get the vibes that he just was using her as a placeholder until Clark came in, because you're doing all these dates and you're doing all this stuff and you're talking about, oh, I want to ask her to be exclusive and I think she's the one, and you kissing her and hugging her, and it's like, and then the thing, like people were saying, oh, he said that he wasn't physically attracted to her. When he had that conversation, I can't remember who he was talking to. It probably was Ace, but I can't remember who he was talking to. When he said that, I don't know if I just like misheard it, but it sounded almost to me like he was saying, you know, if there's no physical attraction, like what can I do? But I didn't read it as him saying he wasn't physically attracted to her. But like I said, after Clark came in, I'm like, maybe that was really the case. So I mean, Taylor, like,
At the end of the day, I saw that his body chemistry towards her. I didn't think he was attracted to her. And only thing when Clark came in, it just confirmed. Like sometimes somebody that you keep asking to do something, right?
yeah,
You see them unprompted do it with somebody else. You just have to come back and realize you wasn't the one, and
yeah,
it's okay because you're somebody's person, right? Or you're
right,
somebody's that somebody's gonna adore you. But like the fact that she kept over trying to explain it or understand it, and he had to be coached into it. I think they should have called it a while ago, but he still didn't want to be because to me he's very conflict. He definitely comes across as conflict adverse. Like I don't think he likes conflict, period. So I don't even think
yeah,
it's really a Landria. I think he don't like it, period. And I was like, there was a way to handle it and say, hey, I got a connection. And he said he was going to explore both of them, but he never did. And then he just was making her look bad. Like, and she was kind of
yeah,
like really fighting for something. And she was really set on like, I'm not going to let this go this easily. And I'm like, if you see how quick he's moving with this girl
On.
and you see his body chemistry, like he couldn't keep his hands off of Clark.
yeah.
And
I do think,
and they had to coach him into putting his hands on Alandria.
yeah, I do think like one thing I keep in mind when it comes to watching this show that I think a lot of people tend to forget is we only see an hour to an hour and a half of
Right. And there's
a
things that's happening all day.
And their challenges are like they said challenge was like 6-7 hours long. And we're
yeah,
only seeing 1 hour of
And
it.
I heard they don't get a lot of sleep, so I'd have got
they
evicted day
don't.
one.
So it's like I try and just remind myself when I have like these opinions about, you know, the Islanders, that like there probably is stuff that we have not seen. So like in some cases I'm like, no, like you're tripping. You know what I mean? But like in terms of like Alandria and Taylor, I don't know if I can necessarily say that she was pushing for something that wasn't. I mean, obviously, like it wasn't there, but I think in terms of the perspective of Alandria and all the other Islanders, I don't know if it was necessarily that she was fighting for something that wasn't there. I really think production set her up to be embarrassed, in my opinion. Because even though I don't think Taylor was necessarily genuine, there were things that he did that obviously she thought that, you know, she felt like there was an understanding, and we didn't get to see that. So I do think that they kind of set her up,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I mean, it could be, right? I just think, but when you see search, she definitely saw the difference in how he was treating her versus
Yeah,
Clark. And she
Yeah,
just didn't want to, she wasn't ready to lean into it. And we all been there. We all been there. Like,
yeah,
I done
yeah,
been there as, the
definitely.
woman, I done leaned into somebody. I'm like, okay, I'm trying hard enough for the
Time to
both of
lean
us.
this
So
way.
I feel like we all are learning and growing. So I just think
yeah,
It's just, to me, it all should be lessons for us as people that are dating or seeing people. Like, this is what you have to look out for, right? Look out for the red flags when somebody is like emotionally abusive, like could have been, or look out for somebody who is just kind of over explaining a chemistry that may not be there. So,
And also,
okay.
Oh, dang, I lost my train of thought. I was about to say something good too.
Well, hold on to it and come back to it at any time. I do want to touch a little bit about, we talked about this, about just some of the dialogue and a lot of commentary online about the racial dynamics of the season, particularly with people perceiving that Shelly and Alandria were treated differently than others. How did that land with you? And as women, how do we navigate double standards, especially as Black women?
I think it was definitely hard to watch. Definitely coming from a Black woman myself and a darker skinned Black woman as well. I feel as though they were like, had to be perceived a certain way. So I feel like they was walking on certain eggshells. And even when the situation when they try to say Olandra was being rude to Huda after the challenge when she was on Ace, but it felt like she had to, like, they were always like running to be there for like her emotional, and they weren't concerned about how they were feeling. And I feel like as a Black woman, we have to downplay how we feel or have to say things a certain way, or not be
feel
so
like
direct because it's
things down. Yeah, because we want to, even though she could walk around the villa and call everybody a bee, she called some of the people bees. And I find it interesting that there was, more accountability for Landria or even Shelly just saying, hey, when you were coupled up, you wanted everybody to respect your boundaries. You don't want nobody even looking at Jeremiah, but yet you think it's okay to do what you're doing with Ace.
But if Shelly or Landria was to walk around and be calling Ace or Taylor bees and all this stuff, it would have to be a whole different type of show or situation. They would have been probably kicked them off the show.
They would have been removed. And so I think some people were saying like it was kind of triggering, right? Because
it's triggering.
Yeah, you've experienced this before, and ultimately it makes it very difficult to watch because it's something that you live out in real time.
Yeah, I definitely want to say that I think Shelly and Olandria is brave for coming on the show. Is she okay?
Go ahead.
I just want to say, like, Shelly and Alandria are brave. Like, I commend them. Putting yourself out there in a show that I feel like most people kind of know when it comes to Black women, especially more melanated Black women, darker skinned Black women, that the producers are not necessarily on their side. So I definitely think that them coming on the show is very nice, and like you get to see representation and diversity and stuff. But I think like it's just crazy. Like you got BuzzFeed saying Shelly deserves a knuckle sandwich. You got Time magazine misquoting her. Like it's like Shelly came out in an interview and said that she cried the most in the villa. But you know who we've seen cry the most in the villa? Amaya. And I like Amaya. Don't get me wrong, I like Amaya. But it's just like you said, you have to be perceived a certain way. And it's really just disappointing, but I'm really not surprised. I mean, in 2025, you would think things would be better, but here we are. So I think that they like really stood strong on their morals and their values. And the people that disagree with how they handle things, I mean, it just speaks to their character more than Shelly and Alandria. I think they're very strong. I'm very proud of them. I feel like they're great representation. Like that's somebody that you can look at and you're like, you know what, like this is somebody I want to be like, or this is how I want to hold myself in certain situations. Because it's a high stress environment, I would say. So it's very disappointing, but I'm really not surprised. But I think they handled themselves very well, and I really can't wait to see their interview that they had together and see like what they got to say on everything. So
yeah, and I think it definitely still speaks to production.
Yeah,
and them as a whole, because even outside of the villa, they still haven't addressed it.
Yeah, they still haven't made a statement. And that's very disappointing, right? Mm-hmm. Because I mean, I saw one where somebody was like calling it a monkey, like this.
The George Floyd meme. I'm like,
that
comparing somebody to George Floyd, so comparing a woman to a man, these are, graceful, stunningly beautiful Black women. They don't deserve that level of hate. Nobody deserves it, right? But it was a clear double standard, like the visceral reaction to anything that Shelley and Alondra did versus the redeeming arch for Huda, who had cussed out everybody, called all women, was not a girl's, called women out of their names. So I think she was able to go to the extreme, and then if Shelley and Alondra did one thing, it was just like a big deal. And so I think it just kind of speaks to how we still have work to do as a country, as a society, as we are a work in progress, but we are not as far along as we should be. Like this should not still be happening in 2020.
The crazy thing is, I seen a picture of the production for. I don't know if the USA production is the same as the UK production, but there were probably in the picture 2 or 3 Black people, maybe. I don't know. Like some of them could have been biracial or whatever the case may be, but there's probably like 3. But there were no darker skinned Black women. And seeing production and then watching the show, it's like, oh, I could tell. And it's crazy because the USA franchise is, I would say, more diverse as far as who they cast compared to
I think they do a good job with casting a diverse group.
But the production, the editing is horrible. It's bad.
Yeah. Well, I know Leah from last season had a problem with the editing. And she basically wouldn't even do the reunion villa if certain people from production were there, certain producers. So she was serious about it because she felt like they didn't pay her. And I think Leah might be Arabic, I think, or So, but she felt like they didn't pay her.
I think she's Persian. Is that
Persian? Yeah. But she was not playing around. So I think, thank you, first of all, for your honesty and your reflective moment, because I think we have all experienced it, right? I know I've experienced it where I feel like my voice wasn't elevated and I didn't say halfway near what my colleagues said, but all of a sudden I'm aggressive, I'm this, I'm that. And it's just very unfortunate because I continue to just build a lifestyle for myself where I could be my authentic self and not feel like I have to worry about a perception of me that has entered the room before I even arrived. So thank y'all for those reflective moments, and thank you for your courage to share that. So let's just talk about something really funny that I thought was a fun part of the episode. When them babies showed up out of nowhere, and that had to happen, like, boom, you a baby mama, you a baby daddy, and they just got these crying babies. Who would you let babysit your kid after watching them, be instant parents on that episode?
I don't know how Shelley and Ace didn't make it. I don't know how they got considered to be the worst parents, but I would definitely let them. I think Nick and Alandria, they took
Nick and Alandria watch it. Iris and Pepe cannot.
Cause why you got
the baby cooking on the
by the stove with
Is the baby? They okay?
They talk about he's sunbathing. I'm like, I don't think so.
Even like, and you know what? I don't care for Huda, but if it worst came to worst, I know she a mom, and the way she was acting with that baby, you would have thought that was a real child.
She can't watch my kid. I don't care what nobody.
I'm ready to say the same thing. It's a
no. The PTSD
it's a hard
crazy.
No.
Like Chris was like, Huda. Like I remember watching that episode, and I'm like, this is not a real child.
No.
I think she's. Yeah. I don't like how she I respected her acknowledging that she's a mother, but I feel like after she said that she's a mother, she started dragging it. Like
she tried to it's a term, weaponize it. Like she tried to
like a good mother don't have to keep saying
I think she tried to use it definitely to get more empathy and sympathy, but it's like you're a mom, okay? Like even the way it was
that's what I mean. It's a lot of people that's moms.
Guys and coupling with guys and they all know she got a kid. I think that's misleading, and I didn't like that either. I was like, why is this a secret? It should have been when she entered the villa. My name is Huda. I have a daughter. Like that's it.
Right.
It was gonna come out anyway. She might as well just said it.
I think it was manipulative. She tried to get somebody to like her enough and just impress them enough that they would just excuse the fact that they might one day be a stepfather, and that's not how that works.
Well, she tried to do it with Ace.
As somebody that
Ace
has
was like, my mother's a single mama. Okay.
Yeah, as somebody that has step parents, I'm thankful because they're good. Not everybody has good step parents. So when it comes to having a child and you're a single mother or a single father, that's not something that you should just be like, oh, I'm gonna tell them later.
Yeah, I think, like I said, it should have been a part of the introduction.
Yeah.
So and speaking, so we think we all agree that Nick and Alandria could babysit our kids. How do we feel about them as a couple? Because they were recoupled at the very end in a very unique way, more than once. So how do you all feel about the Nick Alandria of it all?
I like them.
He adores them. He adores them.
Yeah, I like them.
I do. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
it's something in me that wants it to really, really last, but I'm not 100% with that. But I do like them.
He couldn't even spell Sierra's name, so at least that's the start. He got the Landry name right.
I honestly, like, I've been seeing a lot of discourse on social media, and people are saying that, you know, Nick never really liked Sierra, and he had eyes for Alandria and all that stuff. And I think that he liked Sierra. I think he really did care about her. I just don't think maybe it was as much as Sierra did. But I also think that Sierra is a little bit more calculated. But that's a whole other thing. I really think that Nick really likes Alandria. And I think, you know, Alandria's friends have came out and said that, you know, she doesn't have like a specific type. Like, yes, she wants a cowboy, but she doesn't shy away from, you know, other races or ethnicities or whatever. So I think, you know, I mean, they didn't, you know, when they first got coupled up, they didn't explore too much because like they've already said that they feel like their judgment was clouded, and, you know, I can't fault them for that. So, I mean, a lot of people said they think it was fake. I think it was very organic. You know, feel how you want to feel about it, but I think he really likes her, and I think she really likes him. So, and I mean, watching them on the screen, like, they make me laugh, they make me smile. Like,
I like them.
Yeah, I think it's a cute. I think it's an example.
And he always went out his way to do something with her. Listen, and then when he looked her foot. Oh, that was. I have to see her say, "Don't kiss nobody."
I was like,
okay.
Yeah, I remember when he was like saying, like, the friendship blossom. Like, that's how a relationship should be. Like, when the friendship blossoms. And so I think that, you know, he was just probably not sure if she would be into him. That's what I really think it came down to.
Yeah, and I think, like, also I think Alandria did find him attractive at the beginning, but after she seen like what happened with Bella and Sierra, like, because they had a conversation where it was 3 of them, and like Sierra and Bella were kind of like, they were being like passive aggressive with each other, and Alandria was just like,
she ain't want no parts of it.
Yeah, she ain't want no parts. So, you know, I know they say like they're oblivious and all that stuff. I think they, you know, the secret admirer thing, I think they both found each other attractive. They just really never had the chance to truly get to explore that. So,
or the comfort level. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and so I mean, seeing them now, seeing them outside of Villa, I think it's very cute. So
yeah. Devin, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, no. I said I agree. I like them a lot.
All right. Well, last question. If you could describe this entire season in like 1 to 3 words, what would you say?
Messy, entertaining, and toxic.
Ooh.
Yeah. I would say very interesting. Very interesting.
Very interesting. I would say it was a good season for, I would say, good conversation, and definitely messy and toxic. So, but fun. Yeah. I mean, clearly we all here dying to talk about it. So I think that it was really, I think for people, it's really healthy when you see things like this, where you have good dialogue. Yeah. So thank you both for your reflective moments, and just really an incredible conversation about, you know, biases, about perception, love, laughter. You know, I think it's really good to, you know, break down this season because it gave us so much material. Like, it was.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
And I stopped watching reality TV like maybe like 8 years ago. So
yeah.
I'm not a big.
I think it was just because of all of the dialogue that was going on the internet that made me be like,
yeah,
I
people
wanna
just
see,
made you
let me
just
see
be like,
some
okay,
stuff.
let me watch
Yeah,
it.
because but that says a lot that it drew me in for sure.
I'll say like despite all the drama and stuff that happened, like from watching previous seasons, Ace and Shelly is a typical Love Island story, and I would also say even Nick and Alandria. Every season, you're gonna have that one couple that it's like there, but like they slowly get there, and then you're gonna also have that couple that like you wouldn't expect, and then boom, here they come. So I feel like those were like nice sweet spots. Unfortunately, like we were robbed, but I mean, it was definitely like entertaining. Like it kept me on my toes for sure. But I hope next season we'll get back to the plot. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you both for showing up with grace and truth, and really that that what I call the Detroit girl energy, where we keep it honest and we keep it classy. So I appreciate that. And to my listeners, transformation isn't just about what you watch; it's about who you become when you go through it, right? And so until next time, to all my viewers, keep rising, keep glowing, and keep working on your transformation. I'm Tony Carter. This was another episode of Detroit Girl Transform. It was one of my favorite episodes where we spill the tea in the girl chat. You can find us every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Resilient Radio stream. It's transformation time, baby. Bye.
Bye.